Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Another great week ahead. You know, it's hardly even like February at all, is it, Taylor? Come on,
I was supposed to be like 91, 93 today.
That's ridiculous.
I don't understand. But then Thursday, it's like in the 30s, so.
Well, let's hope.
God bless.
Yes, and you said you were cutting cedar all weekend or something like that. Your sinuses must be packed.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, well, so if you're hacking and coughing, you hear that in the background, guys. Yeah, that's it. Poor guy. A couple of details before I jump in with our guest, Alexa Boedecker. Come on in. It was an assistant friend.
This is my assistant,
right.
yes.
Yeah, she's afraid, I'm going to make too much noise. No, you'll be fine.
It's pronounced Boedecker.
Boedecker?
Yes.
Okay. Am I pronouncing it wrong?
Yes.
Okay, Boedecker.
Yes.
I'll say it right.
It's my husband's fault.
Yes.
I married into it.
You married into it? Boedecker, okay. Anyway, we have Alexa Boedecker here. She's running for place 3, and we're going to ask her what possessed her to do that, because, the campaign is just the beginning, right?
Right.
You want to move the mic like that. There you go.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll talk about what she sees as major issues in Burleson and what she would like to do, assuming she's elected. I have talked to her opponent. We'll try to schedule a time in the next couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward. I think this race is going to be a very appropriately run race. So I don't foresee any kind of hassles or mess at all, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been nice the last few months. The council's been a lot less turbulent, you might say, and it's what government in the city should be, boring.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to run through the sponsors, then we'll talk to Alexa and talk about some of her background and what she's been doing and all those good things. And it's a busy week for the nonprofits as well, busy season. So let's talk about them. We'd get to it. Okay. Thank you, Our Place with Otto and the crew. I'll be there later this week. I was there last week. Service is great. Food is great. You've been to Our Place, I'm sure.
I love Our Place. Yeah. And I chair another committee, the Burleson Area Tour Group, and we meet there every Thursday morning.
Wait, I bet I know that group. What time do y'all meet?
Well, the meeting starts at 9.
Oh, okay.
But Miss Vicki Gomez gets there about 7 a.m.
Well, but every other Thursday, the men of my Sunday school class get together for breakfast, but we're a little earlier than all. But
okay.
Yeah, but but it's always great, and and what I like is the staff is very consistent. By now, there's about 8 to 10 of us that make these things, and they all know what we want. She just goes around and checks so that
exactly. Yep, I love it. I walk in the door and she has my sweet tea waiting for me, which is, hey, that's great.
Well, it's hometown. That's what I like
exactly.
about it. Also, we have Wild Cigar and Culture. I'm getting the feeling you may not be a cigar smoker.
I'm not a cigar person.
Well, maybe, but there's a lot of people that are, and they go there and have a great humidor. But you don't have to have a cigar there to enjoy the place. It's a nice bar. It has a nice meeting area. It's a quiet place. They have a patio, and it's a good place. And what I like about all these sponsors, in fact, is they're community citizens. They do a lot of good stuff and contribute towards it, not just for profit, but they do a lot of stuff for the nonprofits and for the community. So thank you, Wild Cigar, and hope y'all doing well. Also, Tiffany Nico at Local Life. Little campaign advice. That might be a bad choice to put some of your advertising, because it goes to 30,000 homes.
Correct.
Some of which won't be able to vote, but a lot of them are in Burleson, and it's 30,000 homes, plus a lot of the local retail outlets have extra copies. Like Otto has a bunch on the counter, so people while they're waiting will look through it. So it gets a lot of eyeballs.
Right.
So it's a good thing. And she'll be on next Tuesday to talk about the St. Patrick's Day pub crawl. Also, Southern Gym. Have you been here before?
No, but I literally have a necklace in my car that I need to take by, because word has it that they will do repairs.
They do repairs. My wife works there, so
yeah. Okay.
Gayla really does a great job. They do repairs. That's one of their bigger parts of their business, but they have a really nice inventory, and they do cleaning and design work and alterations, whatever. Let's see, when a ring resized or something like that. But they're not open today, but they're open all the rest of the week, and so you can drop it by, and they'll be glad, and you can talk to them. Well, there's 2 Robins that work there, my wife Robin and another lady named Robin, so you can ask for them, and they'll get you set up.
Okay.
And they're over at the Standard, by the way, guys, if you don't know, but most people do. Also, I was at a BNI, not a BNI meeting, at the Burleson Showcase that the chamber put on yesterday. And there's a bunch of our BNI friends there. That was really good. I'm going to talk to Melissa Miller about that next Monday. And my friend Brenda was there from Two Maids. And what they do is they take on cleaning for houses, apartments, businesses, big buildings. They do the Windmiller building, for example, and they get paid based on your rating and not like a set fee. It isn't like X amount for a job. They do the job and you pay them based on the ratings. So it's I just hear nothing but really, really good things about them. A lot of people in BNI use them and they just love them. So call Brenda Ramirez at 817-764-0733 or at twomaidscleaning.com/Burleson. Another Burleson business, Old Pro Roofing, 817-734-2756. Call John Williams to check out your roof. This is a good week to have your roof checked out. It's not going to rain, I don't believe, and you need to know about your roof prior to the rainstorm. And they're down in Old Town, so these are local folks and city contributors and whatnot. So 817-734-2756 and Camco Mortgage Brokerage. Now, you're in real estate, are you not?
I am.
Do you know Sammy and Candy by any chance?
You know what? I do not.
Well,
but we should maybe find them and check them out.
You absolutely should, because they've been doing it for 20 years around here under various different groups. And then they said, let's do it for ourselves now. And so this company's been around since November or such. And Sammy and Candy have done refinancing for me twice and other stops, and it's well done. They're here in town. They're in the third floor of the B&G building, that south standalone building. And so it's 817-778-4592 is Sammy, and for Candy, it's 817-925-2661. So it's something to talk to,
We may need a connection there.
Yeah. As far as, I know there's a couple of events going on right now that end at the end of this week. One is Next Step Women's Center. If they have a matching grant, and so if you give some money to them, it'll be matched. And so if you give $50, it's giving them $100. If you give them $5, it's giving them $10. Everything helps. So Next Step Women's Center does great work, and they also have events coming up in April, the Walk for Life, and they're going to be on pretty soon to talk about all those things. Also, we have at First Baptist here on the 29th and Friday, which is Thursday and Friday, March 1st, is going to be a prom pop-up, and what that is that if you know somebody in your family, your friends, whatever, a young lady that needs a prom dress, they can get one here at no cost. A lot of people donated prom dresses. Reach across Johnson County is sponsoring this, and Reach does a lot of stuff for drug addiction, alcohol addiction, mental issues, whatnot, and they're doing this because prom's a big deal.
It is,
and sometimes young ladies maybe feel self-conscious if they don't have that dress, but they go there and they get, and we're not talking about all used dresses too. Whatchamacallit, that prom dressmaker here in Fort Worth will donate a lot of new dresses, so, and also for young men as well. There's some suits and tuxedos been donated as well. So it's at First Baptist. Ooh, I was about to read that. Put it back. There you go. At First Baptist on Thursday and Friday. It's from 3:30 to 8 o'clock, and so you can go there and try them on, fit, and whatever else. They say the doors close at 7 because they probably have to load that stuff up because they're going to Cleburne in a couple of days after that. Okay, let's talk to you.
Okay. That was quite an introduction, though.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have sponsors that do these things.
Absolutely.
Because it gives some real good purpose for the show, for one thing, and it's I've said this so many times it's almost redundant, but I sit here in this chair and I talk to all these people and see all these good things going on, at the school district level and the nonprofit level and some of the things that the city has planned, and I say, I feel pretty privileged to be in this global position. But you already serve in a capacity for the city, do you not?
So I have sat on the commission for B for the past 3 years.
Which is what exactly?
So at this one, it is it helps to plan for the taxes that businesses, Parks and Rec want to contribute to. So for example, we voted for Razoo's and Ham Barbecue to come in.
Yay!
Like before it went to council, which is really amazing because the plans for both of those businesses and how they're going to integrate into the plaza and for family enjoyment it's pretty astounding. So I considered myself pretty lucky to help be a part of that process. And then I also sit, since last March, I've sat on the City Impact Committee, which has to do with the, going blank here. It has to do with infrastructure as far as roadways, water, and wastewater, particularly in the development part, which being in real estate really caught my attention. So I was fortunate enough, I was nominated for the chair on that one as well. And we met for about 6 weeks and came up with some really good plans, I feel, and council did accept it. And so my real estate kind of fell into play with that as well.
Of course.
So, and to be honest, I like being involved because I love the entire aspect of real estate. I eat, sleep, and drink it. And just being on the part of it and being in the know, I feel like it's helped me, which that's how I started getting involved with the city.
Well, it's good that you have some experience at that level, with the committees, because you have a real close-up view of how city government works.
Right.
And that's a very valuable experience.
Yes.
Particularly, it sounds like you're involved in two of the biggest things we got going on, which is the tax issues, which is an issue all the time. Which, if I may segue just for a minute, I put a clip of Dan McClendon's show last week, just a small piece of it on Facebook and my page or whatever else. So it talks specifically about the tax issues, but also about the infrastructure, the roads, whatever else. And you being in the real estate business know where it's heading.
Yes.
You know where the roads need to go, so to speak. And
correct.
So that's a good thing, to say the least.
Right.
What did you learn about being on those committees?
A big part of it was I went to Austin for the Realtor Day last March 25th. And, we live, you don't realize how big the state of Texas is until you are surrounded by people from all over the state. And we all think of infrastructure in different ways. Mm-hmm. For me, being a city girl, I'm thinking, make sure I have Wi-Fi. That's the infrastructure I need. But we have bigger issues such as water.
Yes, we do.
And I thought, well, this is really outside, this really doesn't affect my area. But it really does. We have some major water issues that are coming our way because the amount of growth that we've had in the past 3 years.
Yeah, Victoria was on last week on Thursday, and she talked about that. About the issues with water, because the fact that we get so much of our water from Fort Worth,
right?
There's some Burleson residents that may get it from Bethesda,
and some from Johnson County Co-op,
right? But most of them get it from Fort Worth,
yes.
And so they have to, have to adjust the fees occasionally, and a lot of people don't understand that sometimes that's just completely out of their hands. And you've seen this firsthand. Oh, by the way, Alex Phillips says good morning. I bet you've worked with him a little bit.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah. He shows up every now and then, and but a lot of people don't think about this about governing a city. A lot of it's very mundane, routine stuff.
It is.
And if you don't take care of that mundane, routine stuff, you're going to be in a world of hurt pretty soon.
Exactly. And, part of it is using for our, let's say, waste management and the water coming in, we use it, as with all of us, even as humans, when you work it and use it all so long, it wears out. Well, we need to have a plan. How are we going to fix those issues, and of course, staying within a budget, which, to most people, you look at it and it says, oh, we need $1 million for this. We don't fathom what that looks like. But then when you start to go and make improvements and do repairs, that $1 million absorbs very, very quickly.
Right.
And so that's the part, especially with our water coming from Fort Worth, we need more water to come in.
Right. And sometimes it's not just like turning on the spigot or something like that. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
And what I've been involved in some government committees at the state level for education. And one thing I learned real quick when I started on those committees is government grinds slowly.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of patience and people want to see immediate results sometimes, and it doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
And when you try to make it work that way, you end up making mistakes.
Yes, exactly. There's not anything that's done real fast.
No. Well, another thing is, I have Victoria on quite often, and she's always prepared. But when in our off-camera conversation, so to speak, we have. Our screen went down. We're still up, so it doesn't matter. The one thing I noticed with Victoria is it takes a lot of preparation.
Yes.
It isn't like you just show up for a meeting and go, okay, whatever, because as a real estate person, you're going to have time for all that.
Right.
I mean, are you going to have time?
Yes.
Okay.
And in fact, we were just discussing the importance of time blocking. And I was sharing with my assistant that, I'm a part of the Texas Realtors Leadership Program, and there are 14 of us for this region, and we are to the part balancing your personal life and all of your commitments that you've made. And so time blocking is extremely important.
Right.
I know that those reports come out Friday, so you essentially have 3 days to make sure that you know what's going on.
Right.
Because nothing worse than getting there and, I won't throw names, but we've seen people get up there on the board.
We're all aware.
And they have no clue what's going on. I am one, I like to be prepared.
Well, in my experience, we get the material about 2 weeks in advance, and if you had really thoroughly made yourself aware of what's in that material, you kind of embarrassed yourself.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I didn't want that to happen to myself.
Exactly. I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So,
Now, this is your assistant here sitting on the couch?
yes, she's over there taking notes right now.
And she's too shy to come on camera. We're going to get you on camera next time. All right, yeah. Yeah, okay. All right.
She's not shy, but I have to put her filter on. So,
Oh, okay. Well, but it is, you are also, besides real estate, besides involved in city stuff, you have a family.
yes, sir.
You want to tell us about that, or tell us as much as you want?
Sure. I'm happily married for 23 years. My husband is a school administrator.
Where?
In Cleburne.
Okay.
And we make things work that way. And then I have a daughter named Claire. She's 20 years old at Texas A&M, and will be graduating in December. And I have a 17-year-old Grayson. He's at Joshua High School. He's a junior this year.
Well, that's good. And so you live in Joshua SD, but Burleson city limits.
Correct.
Okay, good. Well, that's an interesting little piece of
Yes, it
territory because
is.
you're kind of pulled in two different directions as far as school
Correct.
and the city. Sherry Scott says the agenda comes out on Wednesday, so maybe you have a couple extra days. Her husband is Larry Scott.
Okay, thanks, Sherry.
And so you probably met her, I'm sure.
I think I did at
Okay.
a dinner.
Well, she likes to keep a lower profile, and she's pretty shy. She says, "Well, we'll see about that." But anyway, but it does take time.
It does.
And and it is important you take time for your family, because I talked to Victoria, and she has 2 small children, and I've talked to Dan, and he has adult children, but they still
Right.
need time, stuff like that. And Ronnie Johnson, he always wants to make time for his family because it could dominate your whole day, so to speak.
Exactly.
And I don't think it's fair of us for the $5 a meeting we ask of you to sacrifice all that. But
Right. Well, so I would hate to say that we are boring. We're not boring. We always have a million things going on, but a lot of those things it revolves around things that are going around in our community that we are involved with. I don't see that it will be a problem. Again, I think scheduling is going to be a big thing for me. I am very prompt, and I take things very seriously. And if I'm charged with something, I'm going to make sure I'm prepared for it.
right, and that's important because the whatever privileges you might say comes with this are vastly outweighed by the responsibilities. I mean,
Exactly.
You may get introduced at some function and all that, but that's
Small potatoes.
very small, because you get a lot of people that all want to weigh in, which is what you want in our democratic type system. But sometimes people throw elbows, and that gets to be a bit old. I don't expect at all the race between you and Mr. Chris to have any negative aspects to it, and so I'm glad for that. But there's sometimes, people get very upset about what's going on with the city, and they sometimes think that y'all are responsible for things you're not responsible for. Right. How are you going to deal with that?
So, one, I will tell you, I'm not a keyboard warrior. Mm-hmm. And I will say, I stopped reading a lot of it. There are certain pages that I'm just not a part of.
I heard that.
Being a school administrator's wife, I've had to learn how to do a lot of that. Mm-hmm. There are many social media outlets that my name doesn't go on. Like, we don't get in there because and our family is very heavily involved throughout the county.
Right. Your nephew is the county judge.
County judge, correct. Yeah. It's sometimes good to stay clear. Don't incriminate yourself by putting your full opinion out there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And figuring out, something we've learned is you have to base all of your decisions on facts. And where are you going to get those facts? Well, for me, I would rather go straight to the person. Most people that know me know that if I have a question and something's said, I'm going to come to you and say, okay, what did you mean by this? And not an attacking manner. It's more of a clarification type thing. Mm-hmm. Because we're not all going to see things the exact same. And that's just the American way, if you will. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion.
Oh, wait. No, you're entitled to my opinion. That says right there in the motto.
Okay, well, give it to me. I'll listen to you.
No, it's just a joke. It's just a joke of a slogan. Some people think, wow, how arrogant. I was like, no, it's a joke.
No, I kind of like it. Yeah. So maybe I put that on my campaign.
Yeah, that's fine. Here, let me give you your opinion here.
Yeah, there you go. My husband will tell you that my opinion's the only one that matters, but that's how he's been married.
I know the drill.
Yeah, he's been married long enough. He knows that. Mm-hmm. But I am a very factual person. I don't do gossip. My team of girls, I tell them all the time, I don't do gossip. Like, just don't tell me because I don't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. But if you've got facts, let's hash it out and let's see what, let me form my own opinion on it.
Do you work in an office then?
I have a team of 3 other agents. Mm-hmm. My broker is also here in Johnson County. He's in Grandview. And right now, our current office is at my house, but we have an office there in Grandview as well.
Okay. Well, a lot of people work out of the house now as well.
Yeah.
I mean, very few people seem to work out of an office place. Taylor, what's the deal here, buddy? The back screen keeps...
It's not me.
It's not you, of course not. It doesn't matter. It's immaterial. But anyway, the point is that you're going to be dealing with people a lot.
Correct.
One of the hardest things it would be for me personally to be an office holder is tell people that I like and have known for years. No. Do you think you could do that?
Yes. Well, okay. My assistant's going to be like, she doesn't say no to anything.
Is that right?
I do say no.
She's like, sure, whatever.
I'm very good about knowing what I can handle. So this year, for example, like I said, I chaired the Burleson area tour group, and I did not say, in fact, I did say no at first. And then we went and sat down at the brewery and had chocolate lava cake, and they convinced me, you can do this, we'll help you. That's my little key right there.
Yeah. What sweets?
The chocolate lava cake is, it's awesome.
It is, yes.
But, and I told him I plan on running for city council. And so my time is going to be, I don't have a lot of time for this because the city council, that is going to be what my most prioritized is going to be as far as the committees that I'm on and my philanthropy and being a part.
Yeah, you're going to not to have anything to worry about with your time. You're going to be busy.
Yes, and I'm good with that. I don't like to sit still.
Well, yeah. Well, busy people get things done. They know how to organize their time.
Exactly.
And if you're in real estate, you're used to having to work in a hurry, in a sense.
Yes. We don't work a 9 to 5 for sure.
No.
It's more 24/7 plus 5.
So you were telling me earlier, prior to the show, that when you made this announcement to a couple of the people on the board or council, they were very encouraging.
Yes.
And And I really do like the fact that you're involved with some city events already. I talked to a couple of people. I hadn't met you before. And so I talked to some people that are involved in city stuff a lot, and I said, "Do you know who this person is?" And they all were very, very complimentary, and they really thought you did a great job on those boards, and so that made it very easy to try to connect here and with the show and all. And I like the fact that you know what the city issues are, as opposed to, well, I'll study a lot. What is, in your opinion, the most pressing issue the city has
right now? Because I drive a lot. We've got some major traffic issues.
Yes.
Which again feeds into the roadway situation. And my platform, if you will, is on infrastructure, heavily on the roadways. Especially again, being a Joshua ISD mom, we drive back roads and so on. That is the city of Burleson. We've got so much traffic going through, even the back roads that you take. We've got some that are in really bad shape.
There's one that I drive a lot. It's 714. It's Russell Art Farm.
Yes.
And it's going to
rough.
And it's going to even be more so because they're having a big development going on.
Yes, sir.
So,
and that's the thing. We still have, from my standpoint, we still have homes coming in. We have these great businesses that have come in that are producing revenue, and that's awesome. But we've got to keep our roadways safe, for one, but we need to be able to get to and from and be able to get home in these new build roadways and so on. That's probably my most important part. And my other part is, still promoting family. I feel like we've got Old Town. We're doing great down there.
yes.
I would like to see more family opportunities, more abilities for the family to get out with the parks being available. I would love a skating rink or something like that, but I think a lot of us would
that brings back memories.
Oh, yes. But we've got alley cats coming as well. And so, the roadways are a major thing for me. The water and wastewater, obviously, that's something that we don't necessarily see, but many of us will be feeling it. And then, of course, just more family activities available.
When you say family activities, you mean like at the plaza, certain city-sponsored things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, they do a really good job, I think.
We've got quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And I really think that farmers market adds a lot every Saturday.
Oh my gosh, that is one of my favorite Saturday things to go and do.
It really is. It's very relaxing and it's nice. And it's,
yes. Just walk through, and I will tell you, there is a bread company that I always have to stop.
I bet I know which one it is.
And it is so good.
There's a tamales. I hope they're still coming back. The tamales.
The tamales, yes. My son gets rather excited about those.
I call that, sports food, for watching basketball. So, we had somebody looking in the door. Are you just checking it out? Okay. Anyway, this happens. It's a very active place here at Jonathan's little studio. Or Taylor's studio is really what it is. I just sit in it. It's Taylor's world. I just live in it.
There you go.
But
that's right.
Yeah. So as far
don't forget,
right? But as far as some of the issues that have come up, to be honest, I know that sometimes people, I think, go off half informed about what's going on, and they think that the council's made this decision already when we're just talking about it, what if, and that stuff. One of the latest controversial decisions was about extra funding for the police station.
Yes.
Do you have any insight or any kind of response to that, or is that something that you saw from a distance like I did?
I've seen it from a distance. I will tell you, our current council and the council for the past couple of years, the police department has been, a high priority. We've tried to it appears that they have been well taken care of, but we still, obviously we still need our police department to stay strong. But
well, you being in real estate, that's one of the first things that people who move to this area ask about, that in the schools, right?
Yes, exactly. And I will say I am a huge proponent of the newer location of where the police department is. I think we're very seen. The visibility is awesome, but we've also got so much traffic, but I think I feel like the police department will continue to be a priority that we take care of.
Well, what bothered me about that whole debate is that the police were allocated X amount of money. They wanted to have this more allocated because of expenses and whatever else. And the council or at least on a 5-2 vote, kind of said, well, we'll go with this lower amount. And they got some trash on Facebook about they're not backing the blue. And I'm thinking they're getting more money than what was originally allocated, and now they're not backing the blue. Would they say that about the people who voted against the bond, which was a very narrow in that particular part of the bond? So that's the kind of thing I think the city council has to deal with, is people are, throwing these hard opinions out there about decisions that are made without really navigate through all the facts of it.
Right. And I think that I don't want to blame it totally on social media.
Well, it's a piece of it,
but a big part of it is social media, and people read and see what they want to see. And there's honest to God, especially in anything political, there is no way to make 100% of the people happy. And you are always going to have the naysayers and, well, they should have done this, they should have done that. But I will tell you, I've sat at many city council meetings, and none of them are there.
Yeah.
And that's honestly how I got involved. I started going to city council meetings. 2011 is probably the first one I started going to, and the wealth that I grow from being there it's incredible. And the thought that goes behind those meetings and the presenters, that's where you go and get your facts.
Right. And I think that one thing Victoria learned, she was, mentally, emotionally prepared, but she still told me early in her tenure there, she still was surprised at the amount of preparation it took, because it's not just one issue, it's all these issues.
It's a bunch of them all at one time.
And because they're all moving in the same direction. We worry about water, we worry about streets, but we also have to worry about trash pickup. We have to worry about, city ordinances. We have to, payroll issues for the city and parks and on and on and on. Let me give you a scenario, though. Somebody votes for you. You don't do exactly what they thought you'd do, and they give you some nasty email. How are you going to react to that?
One, I'll try to figure out what it is that they thought I was going to do. I'm not so much of a reactive person. And I'll give them my reasons for it, back it up with evidence. It's kind of like I've told my kids. Obviously, my husband has his political beliefs, I have mine, but we've never pushed our agenda on either of them. And I've told them, you need to come up with your opinion, and I'll ask them, but you need to be able to back it up. Why do you feel this way? Well, as I said, my son is 17, and he's made some interesting remarks.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar. Yes, my son still does.
Yes, and I'm like, but why do you think that? Can you back that response up? And if he tells me, oh, well, I just heard that. Okay, well, then I don't really need to take it into consideration, do I?
Yeah, yes.
And so it goes back to where, I feel like I will have to back up my answers, and that's okay. Because, again, I'm not going to make a decision without knowing the facts behind it. I was interviewed by another newspaper outlet last week, and he was asking me about the library. No decisions have been made yet. The data is not there. They're still collecting information on how this amount of money is going to be used. but no decisions have been made. We're still trying to figure that part out.
Right. I was joking with Dan on Monday's show last week about when do you start digging, because you read some of these posts, it's like we've already
been made.
Committed to a $50 million library, but that, even if they did say yes in the next meeting, it's still a decade away.
Exactly.
Do you have any thoughts about where it's located as an issue?
I really I know there's been talk about being on the west side, which the meeting is tonight at 5:30 to kind of discuss that. I think that would be great. I was asked, well, what about, we've got so much in the Old Town area. Okay, but Burleson has a total of almost 29 square miles. We don't have to have everything right there in that location. What if we spread out more of Burleson and put it in a different location? And the person that asked me, he goes, well, I didn't think about it that way. And so, but I'm going back to, no decisions have been made yet.
Here's the thing that I think some people are concerned about moving it west, is they think we're going to start doing what have happened to us is what's happening in other bigger communities. You have subsections of the community. You have certain areas of town. And Victoria was talking about this a lot, about one of her goals and the goals of the council is to maintain a unified Burleson.
Correct.
A community feeling, and not have this group over here and this group over there and that, subsection over there. Because you go to Fort Worth and, and there's different areas of town, and trying to put all that together is tough. But here, so far, even if around 50,000, we still strive, I think, as a council and a community to maintain those ties.
Right.
By the way, Bill Jenner says the public meeting tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Did I say tonight?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, sorry.
All right.
I do have it written down as Tuesday.
Okay, right.
She was thinking ahead because the podcast drops tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
there you
right.
go.
Yeah, well,
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.
I know we'll see you there.
Oh, that's a surety.
Oh, he's there all the time.
Yeah, 5:30 to 7:30. Where's it at, though? Where's it located at, this meeting?
That one is there at the City Hall Annex building.
Okay. All right. Well, what's going to happen on the shows is that this is live in YouTube and Facebook, and then tomorrow about this time it'll be on Apple and Spotify.
Okay.
And about a bunch of other platforms I've never even heard of. So that's how, a lot of people access it. But a lot of people also access more real time or in their own time, whatever. But so tomorrow night, 5:30 to 7:30, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining. But personally, I don't have a dog in that hunt because I live just outside the city, so I don't have a vote. But my personal preference is whether we like it or not, the city is growing west.
And we need to grow.
Yeah, and it's that Big Chisholm development's going to be a major factor. And, and if the city is going to have to expand with it, we can't keep it in a very small radius. Because, it's just not possible. We wouldn't be able to do that without having to move people out. I mean, where are we going to put a big library like that in the Old Town area without having to basically use eminent domain on people's homes or whatever, which is
exactly.
Well, I'm exaggerating a little bit because in Texas it's very difficult for a city to use eminent domain for anything other than necessities.
Right.
But so the idea of us bulldozing a bunch of houses down isn't going to happen, but it would be very expensive.
Right.
Ms. Jones asks, Jackie Jones, who runs the Burleson political page, are you for moving City Hall?
So, and this is my opinion on this, I like City Hall exactly where it's at. I think that it just is the picture of our Old Town Burleson. But I know that we have, grown, which, there are a couple of city offices that are going to be right across the plaza. I think that's awesome. When you walk through City Hall, they've made it work, but we also have offices at the old police department as well.
Which is, you're talking about on the corner of Johnson and Renfro.
Yes.
That Alex Phillips has told me and others, now he didn't tell me personally, exclusively, he told us publicly, that property is going to be sold.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and they're going to make parking and maybe a couple of retail pads from it. And all I plead with them is keep those trees.
Yes, the trees are awesome, but I will tell you, I know there's a lot of people that would love some more parking.
Yes.
So,
yes.
hey, maybe that is the appropriate place. But I know that we have many staff members and so on. I personally think it's great if they can all work together in the same vicinity. But to keep City Hall there, I do feel like it's the appropriate place.
I do too, personally, but because I think it goes well with the plaza.
We've created that, yes.
Yeah, right. And that if we sold that building to a private developer, then would the plaza still be the plaza?
Exactly.
And so I would prefer it stay there, but I do know they have space issues. It's kind of like the Burleson school administration building. They got people spread around, and they're in the garage or in the portables. They got some across the street in the same building as a police station, in the back, and that's just part of a growing city. But I think it really is important that City Hall maintains where it is, because it's become, with the plaza in Old Town,
exactly,
it really is the center of the community.
Correct.
But it doesn't mean everything has to be there.
Correct.
Because it's not feasible.
Right.
Now, maybe where the library is now, is it possible to expand it from that? We'll see, right?
Right. And again, I mean, you're talking about less than a mile from each other?
Right.
Maybe that is. And I will say that is one of my concerns, and my assistant can account for this. Like, I don't like seeing empty buildings. And if you're going to move, which plan for that building? And so I think the library would be a great option. The old police department, I'd love to see them do something with that. It's
pretty valuable territory, though.
It's very, exactly.
Real estate values and how much they've exploded around that area.
Yes.
Those smaller houses that are in Old Town, when I moved here, you could have them fairly cheaply now.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I mean, they're prime real estate now.
Exactly.
With all the restaurants coming in and whatnot.
And it's easy, down there. I didn't mean that it is easy, but so many of those, hey, let's buy this house and we can put a business inside of it, because you're so centrally located to Old Town Burleson.
I was checking out a house for my daughter about 3 years ago, and I was astounded how much it cost, because they'd just been rezoned and into commercial. And wow. I wish I had owned that property 20 years ago, because I could retire.
Right.
Sherry Scott says, I believe that they are going to renovate City Hall soon. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's good. They need it,
and renovation, hey, do it. It needs to be done.
There's that annex that they own in Old Town right next to Texas Bar and all that. The city still owns that, right?
I believe so.
I believe they do too. Yeah. So maybe we can do something with that. I don't know. I'm sure.
If somebody pops up and says,
I'm sure Larry has an idea. I saw him Saturday. Very great guy, and he really is far thinking about these things. So if God willing, you get on the council, he'd be a good person to get to know well, because he knows what he's talking about. It's like Dan, like they all do. I mean, what I've liked about this council is that it's been pretty routine, and my slogan is "Make Burleson boring again," and that kind of stuff. Sometimes
the boring is not bad.
Yeah, well, it's good, and that's what government is.
Yeah, let's settle down just a little bit, because we had some hot, a couple of.
It was tough.
Tough, hostile.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, oh boy, do we know. But see, the thing is, politics may be one thing, but governing is boring.
Yes,
and they're not the same thing.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people, they get into it. They thinking they're going to, do this or do that, and they find out no, it's really, no, meetings after meetings after meetings, and then studies, and then we'll get back to you in the next meeting with the study and all that. And when I was on that board down in Austin, I was on the. Well, your husband is aware of this group. It's the State Board for Educator Certification.
Yes.
Even if we put it on express, it would be 9 months before we could go from proposal to vote.
Absolutely.
And that's if we paid attention. Most of the time, at least, it'd take a year and a half.
Right.
And so that's just the way it works.
And serving on these committees and commissions, it was really interesting, very eye-opening to see, oh, well, we just talked about this. we did not make any decisions. We just talked about this. Well, then it goes back to council, or it goes to staff, and then it goes back to council. Like and people that aren't involved in it, they don't realize how many overlays and how many scaffolding type things happen before a decision is made.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I was back to the board, I was dealing with the TA a lot. Oh, and they were good people and they worked hard, but it was just so much process and procedure, and it wasn't like, hey, this is a good idea. It didn't work that way.
No.
But you worked with the staff directly. You worked with,
yes,
and everybody that's worked with the staff is very, very complimentary.
Oh, I'm going to sing Eric Thompson's praises.
Okay.
He made. There were, I believe, 7 of us on the city impact committee, and all of us were just citizens, but he made sure we knew each level, like the amount of coordination that it took to get all of that information to us and make sure that we all understood exactly what was happening. I mean, down to not just consultants, but attorneys telling us this is what this means. It was incredible. And he didn't have a problem telling us in his Eric fashion, well, we can't do this, but we could potentially do this. And I can redo this. I'm a very colorful person. I like the charts and graphs and everything. And he made sure that I had those charts and graphs so I could really see the depth of what we were discussing. And then Alex Phillips, he is very well calculated, by the way.
Oh, you're not going to get anything out of him. I've tried several times.
But I will say I have called him just in real estate type things. I'm like, Alex, well, we actually, a couple of weeks ago, we were kind of discussing about
Her assistant is laughing. There must be something more to it. But.
Yes. No, we were discussing about Dalton's Corner.
Right.
And where it had started. And I was like, I don't think you're right, but I'm not saying I'm wrong. And we called Alex and was like, Alex, was Dalton's really where Babes was?
Yes. She was right. No, she is right.
But Alex had those answers right there. So the city staff, I mean, they are kind of how I feel about real estate. They love our community. And that's why they're doing those jobs, because they get blasted with the crazy calls all the time.
Yeah, that's part of the fun, I suppose.
Yes.
Well, we have a few minutes left. Let's talk about your campaign itself. How do you plan to reach out to people or get your name out there? Or what kind of process are you going to campaign?
So right now, I was watching to see because, we put in our applications on the 16th. And Dan, myself, and Victoria, we had them done day one before 4:00. And we were in there, and so we sat and we waited. And I was like, maybe I'm not going to have anybody to run against. And then my opponent came in 2 days beforehand, I believe.
Well, I guess. Jackie Jones asked, are you going to have a campaign page?
Yes, I am going to get that done. It is in the works. I'm going to say it'll be up by the end of the week.
Well, send it. I like to see it myself, and, we'll send it here. But, And
I noticed Victoria's launched this morning.
Well, Victoria is going to be very quick and active. I do not know her opponent personally. I've heard, positive things.
Right.
I've had 2 or 3 people that have said, no, he's a good guy, and I just don't know him. I am going to reach out to him and see about an appearance. And I got Mr. Crisp, your opponent, on March 7th. But as far as other types of campaigning, signs are great and all that, and campaign pages are great, but nothing beats personal. Getting
out there and seeing people, and I am very much a social person, so I just plan. I believe in being a parent, being in front of people. I don't know that I will go door knocking because I'm going to tell you, in real estate, that's not my favorite thing to do.
Oh yeah. I couldn't do that part.
No, there's not a lot of return on it, and honestly, people get annoyed with it. So, but signs are going to be going out soon, and I kind of fought myself on that as well, because I had some friends from Midland that come down periodically, and they're like, "You'll always have some type of election going on in Johnson County, and there are just signs everywhere." So when I thought that I wasn't, if maybe I didn't have an opponent, I was like, maybe I just won't put signs out, and there's my campaign, because I don't like the city to look littered. And so, but now, you need to see Alexa Boedecker everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. And that's true. And, there's other events coming up. They got city events.
Yes.
You might want to talk to Chaz Forrester at the farmers market, see what his view is. I've seen candidates at the farmers market, but it isn't like he doesn't want you to show up.
Exactly.
You need to make arrangements.
Yes.
And because it's much better if you had a spot and people come to you as opposed to going through the crowd and all this other stuff. But and there's other events going on, and all sorts of clubs that come speak at and things of that nature.
Correct.
But that's what gets it done. But you have some advantages being on those commissions and boards, because people know you,
right,
and they'll recommend you. And those are the people who are involved in these kind of elections. I mean,
correct.
Unfortunately, our elections are not as highly participated in as an old government teacher would have liked.
Right.
Today, in fact, I'm going to go early vote today.
I am too.
Yeah.
And my daughter is coming home from A&M on Friday so that she can early vote.
Well, early, but the city council early voting is...
No. This is for this election now.
Well.
So, but she will be home by May 4th, so...
Yeah, I bet she will.
Yeah.
I bet she will. But see, that's what it takes is those kind of connections. I've noticed. I mean, you can put signs up, and it does help, but it's not does not take the place of the personal handshaking and
exactly
having somebody say, "Well, okay, you run for city council. What do you want to do about this?" And you give them a good answer, and they go tell their friends, "Hey, I talked to her. Yeah, she's fine." And that's how it gets done. As far as another appearance here, I'd like to book you one for in April.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, before you leave. I have to check the Google calendar, but I know I've opened dates. This is a busy time for the Mr. Allard's neighborhood as well. For
yes. Well,
nonprofit season and election season.
And the elections. And, Johnson County has some very interesting elections going on.
Well, speaking of which, Tim Good will be on tomorrow.
He'll be a good one.
Yeah, he's been on before and had Dale Hanna on before as well. But Tim has another spot tomorrow. And I'm going to, ask him to respond to certain things that I've been hearing about or what Mr. Hanna had said. But that's going to be entertaining. And then... Victoria knows on about 3 weeks. Like I mentioned just now, Mr. Crisp will be on March 7th. Actually, Taylor and I are doing 2 shows that day because we already had something booked. But I want to get everybody in with enough time to make their case, so to speak. Yeah. And but I really think you have some real momentum for your campaign.
Thank you.
Well, being part of the city already does lend itself to at least a good head start.
So I'm going to say it was probably 2017-ish. We had some ugly campaigning going on then. And I was asked, well, Alexa, why aren't you running for city council then? I was like, this has gotten too ugly for me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to step back. I live in reality, but I really do like those flowers and butterflies, and I want everyone to get along.
Well, and Victoria and Dan and all of them have said that this has been about the most effective council they've been on.
Yes, because the productivity of it, because we're not dealing with personal. Right. We're dealing with what's best for Burleson.
Right, and they say that, they have differences of opinions, and they go in those executive sessions, and sometimes maybe it gets a little bit amped, but not much. But when they come out, it's all cordial and civil, and that's what we want in a city.
Absolutely.
This is what I offer every one of the candidates. That camera right there is the one directly at you. If you want to do it like a 2-minute commercial and clip it for your own purposes, then
2 minutes. Okay.
Well, as long as you want. If you want it shorter, you want it longer. The floor is yours.
Well, ironically, I did do the Texas Realtors spokesperson training 2 weeks ago, and boy, did they put us on the spot. Okay.
Just make a commercial right now.
Okay. Hi, I'm Alexa Boedecker, and I am running for City Council Place 3. I look forward to this campaign time, and my platform is weighing heavily on infrastructure, and also to I live in the city of Burleson, but I'm Joshua ISD, talking about some of our infrastructure in that direction as well for our schools, because we are very crowded at this time, but we still have so much growth in Burleson, Joshua area. So I don't know if that's 2 minutes, but that's
close enough.
Short, quick, to the point.
No, those short ones are good. And after the show's over, Taylor's making reels.
Okay.
She knows, I'm sure, what reels are. I don't as much. I'm so old fashioned, like
Old.
the old, yes. But he's educating me on reels, and so
that's why I have to have a 28-year-old follow me around, because she knows how to do all of that.
Yeah.
And I just say okay.
so you can make a clip out of any of this you want. Be my guest. It's
Yes,
not
thank
like I have a
you.
copyright. But I look forward to visiting with you again. Good luck on your campaign. I wish you the very best of luck. And
Thank you. And thanks for having me.
Okay, and we'll probably have you on in mid-April again.
Perfect.
Right, maybe just in time for early voting. And I'm trying to reach out to all the candidates, and I'm relieved in a sense that we're not going to have to go through what we've done before.
Yeah. No.
And it's like the school board election last May. We had 5 good candidates. 2
Right.
could win. The rest, sorry.
Right.
And so they, so we had some good choices to make. I'd rather
Right.
those choices than when we got looking at president. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, we're not going on that one right now, right?
No, we're not. No, we keep the national stuff out of the local stuff because
Thank you.
yeah, there's no point in that. But Taylor, thanks for all your help. And
Always.
Tomorrow, like I said, we have Tim Good, and then I have Jennifer Woods of Harvest House on Thursday. And next week, Chamber of Commerce, Tiffany Nico. I have the Doughboy Donuts owner.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you like that place, do you?
Yes,
He's
I
bringing
do.
samples,
You
right?
better, yes. And also,
my
That's
gosh.
what I'm saying.
so yes, his name is Melvin, and
Can we come back that day?
if you get some
And-
samples, yeah.
Yeah, we'll join you.
Well, it's interesting because we're doing an early show with your opponent. Maybe you can come by and heckle him. I don't know. Sit in the
I
couch.
don't know. I did just say, not into mudslinging and so on,
Oh,
but
you
bring
think
those,
so, do you? Yeah.
But you didn't say
bring
donuts were
those
involved before.
donuts out.
Okay.
Hey.
Well, that'd be fun. It was nice talking with you. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you so much.
All righty. And we'll see y'all tomorrow.